Hi, there's a whole bunch of you that are brand new to sublimation that are in this group. And one of the things that comes up a lot is Canva. It's promoted as a great starter design place and it's free. They also have partnered with Affinity, so now that's free also to everybody. You do not need the pro version or paid version, excuse me, of Canva to create things. However, anytime you see a little crown like that on anything, it's from the paid version and you can't use that particular thing. But there's a lot of things you can do. So I'm going to teach you the very, very basics of Canva just to get you started. All right. So you open up Canva because you created a login, an account, and now we're going to go create. So we're going to click on create. And you'll see this page. So my suggestion to start with is always use custom size. Next thing is most of you are very comfortable with inches or millimeters. So click on your appropriate measurement. Now, probably one of the hottest things on the market, I don't know if it's hot, but I know it's one of the most popular things, is a 20-ounce tumbler. So people wonder how the heck to do those. So I'm going to show you very quickly. So we're going to create a 20-ounce tumbler size, which will then create basically a template that we're going to fill in, and then we're going to save it, and then I'm going to show you in the next video how to actually take that and print it. Okay, so first thing you always want to do is take your tumbler, take the lid off, and measure it. Set it on a table, take your sewing tape measure, and go from the table up to wherever the curve starts. Where that curve starts, stop. That's your measurement. So we're going to, for giggles, we're going to pretend that I did that and I measured it and my tumbler was 9.3 inches around and 8.2 inches tall. Now, if you don't understand the point system, it's decimals. There is a post that I have put up that's in the files, in the media files in the album, that has the measuring conversion from inches to decimals. Just remember that every eighth inch is 0.125. Just multiply however many eighth inch marks you have on your tape measure by 0.125, and that will be your number. Okay, so we're going to go with 9.3 by 8.2. So you put in 9.3, hit the tab button, and it'll take you to the next box, and that's 8.2, and that's where we would start most of the time. So I like to add 1/4 inch to my measurements so that I have trimability. You can always reduce. You cannot add once it's printed. So we're going to add 0.25 to this, so that width would be 8 or 9.55. Sorry, I heard something. And this was 8.25, 8.2, so it'll be 8.45, right? 8.45. All right, so that's the size we're going to create. I'm just going to hit create new image, new design. We now have a design right here that we're going to put something in it. The way you put something in it is you click on uploads. Then you go and upload your files. Okay, so you click on uploads and upload files, and your downloads folder or picture folder will show up, and then just highlight what you want to put in here and with left click drag, and then drag it onto here. Okay, that's it. So I'm just going to grab one of my images, and here's an image. Now this is a perfect image for me to show you, and I'm going to scroll in a little bit so you can see. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. This is the zoom in, basically. Okay, so right now you can see that the bottom of my image has white around it. Okay, that's called a margin, and you want to get rid of that. So just click on that line and just move it up. If you click on the line, you can move the line. If you click on it and drag out further than what the actual image is, it's just going to make the image bigger, right? And we don't really want to do that. So I'm just going to do that. And now I'm going to scroll back out. I'm going to close this box. Okay. And I'm going to scroll back out so you can see. All right. So there's our image. Now, this white space represents the entire size of the tumbler, correct? So we want to make this bigger. So I'm going to adjust this to fit this page, and then I'll be back. Okay, I wanted to get this thing centered and in the middle and then show you something. I cannot skew this image. If I make it too much bigger, I'm going to lose my QR codes. Notice that you see gray past the image here. That means it's off the page. So there's parts of my image that are already off the page. But if we zoom in or zoom out, you can see that, excuse me, that there is white above and below. So on this particular one, I would just fill that background in, okay? But you can also take this into Affinity and resize the actual image to fit this image if you want to do that. But if you're there, you don't really need to be here, just so you know that. So we're going to stay here, and I'm going to show you how to fix this. I'm not going to worry about what's off the page because all my writing is on the page right now, okay? I would use this side to put down on my tumbler because my writing over here is really close to the edge, okay? So maybe bring this down just a little bit. All right, now to center it, you click on it and you hit position, middle, center, okay? All right, so now all of my image is on here. Now I can trim this off or this side off without cutting off any of my image, but now I have that white space behind it. So let's click on the white space, go to the color wheel. Because I have the Pro version, it's showing me what's in my brand kit, and this happens to be from my brand. But let's just say I just want to fill that background in with a color that's compatible. All right, so I'm going to click on this and use the eyedropper and come over here and find a color that will fill in. All right, now all of a sudden I have an entire image to save and download. All right, very simple, easy to use. So the step-by-step is measure your tumbler, open up Canva, click on custom size, put that size in, then hit create new design. Once you see your blank document ready to fill up, go to the left-hand side and click on uploads and then upload that image in there. If you need to mess with it a little bit, the outer edges of that particular image right here, just drag that in or out. It'll make the entire image bigger or smaller, okay? If you start dragging it out and you cut off important things that are in the image that you don't want to lose, there are two ways to handle that. You can go into Canva Affinity and deal with it, or you can just make the image a little bit smaller so that it fits and find a complementary background. Once you do all that, I'm going to click off of it. Now we're just going to click on the whole thing and we're going to save it. And go to File. Here's the design right here. Sometimes it's up here. Sometimes you have to click on File because of the way I'm doing this. That's the way I'm going to do it right now. Right now it's called Untitled Design 9.55 by 8.45. I'm going to click on this. Now I can type what I want. I'm just going to type test logo and hit enter. Now the name of this file is test logo. When I download and save it so that I can take it into a printing program, it works. So I'm actually going to show you how to do that on Google Docs, because Google Docs, everybody has access to Google Docs. Okay, so I've saved it as I've named it a test logo. The other thing that I do suggest is when you name it, you also put in the size. So we're going to put in 9.55 by 8.45. Okay. There we go. And then hit enter. And the reason you do that is in your files. That way, if you need a file and you have like, oh, I have that logo, I can use that. If I'm doing it for something else, I'm not going to go use the PDF. I'm going to go use the PNG so that I can resize it for the other product that I'm using. Because while this will fit on a 20-ounce tumbler, it will not fit, ready, on a 30-ounce tumbler or a 40-ounce tumbler or a t-shirt, etc. So a PDF is not resizable and a PNG is. So my suggestion now that we've got all that done is go over here to share, go down here to downloads. You have it on PNG. These crowns mean, pardon me, these crowns mean that you cannot use anything that has a crown if you're using the free version. So just go ahead and hit download. It's downloading, okay, and it's completed. And it shows up in my downloads file. Okay, now we're going to download it one more time. I'll slide this down so you can see. Hit download. This time we're going to click where it says PNG and we're going to go to PDF print. If we added any text or anything, click flatten, and other than that, you're good. Do not change this because you're going to be test printing, and you test print apples to apples, not oranges to apples, okay? All right, so go ahead and click download again. Now the PDF is going to download. As soon as that's done downloading, I'm going to open it and show it to you, and then I'm going to show you how to do a test print. One of the things that you should not be doing is using Cricut Design Space or Silhouette to print from. Okay, now my computer keeps wanting to use Adobe Reader as my PDF viewer. I actually have Google as my default PDFer. But anyway, we get to see it here. But I'm going to close this. And I'm going to go up here to this. And as you can see, I have a Google Chrome thing. That's because my particular app is set up to be the default for on PDFs is Chrome. So I'm just going to click open because that's mine. And here's my image. Now, one of the reasons you always want to open up your PDF before you go test print is to make sure that you spelt everything right, that you did everything right, that everything's where you want it, that you have that space that you need so you can trim. Okay, if your image is right up against the edge, which side are you actually going to trim off? In this particular case, I would probably trim on this side because this is closer to the edge, but it's good either way. Okay, and then I would use that. Now, to print a PDF, I do want to show you something that's very important. You don't just hit the printer icon and then hit print, whatever you do. Okay, this particular image will print on my 2800, but what if I wanted to use a larger printer? So you have to click on the printer so that you can get to your list of printers and then select the correct printer. Because if you don't, whatever you defaulted to, and I could accidentally print to my house printer. Do you see what I'm saying? So make sure that you're doing that. So we are going to use the 2800 for now. It is obviously in color. Don't hit print yet. Go to more settings. Don't touch anything in here. Leave the scale alone. I hear people all the time talking about change your scale, change your scale. That's only if you're on a Mac and you want 100%. Okay, go ahead and click on print using system dialog. You're going to get another box. Okay, so now my 8550 popped up, and that's not the printer we're using. So we're going to use the 2800. So we're going to click on the 2800. I am in landscape, so that's fine. I am in color. We're still not hitting print. We are doing one more thing, which is very important. This is specifically for Windows users. You're going to hit more settings. Once you hit more settings, your print box is going to pop up that when you downloaded your drivers to a computer, they will not download to a phone or tablet or iPad. You should see these 3 tabs. This box, this is page 1. Make sure it's set up correctly. Okay. Make sure whatever paper type you choose here is what's chosen on your actual printer. So this is a paper type. This is your quality setting. Make sure that's on the highest one possible. Obviously, we're doing this in color. Stay out of this box. You don't need these. Make sure your quiet mode's turned on. It slows the printer down a little bit. Personally, I think everybody should turn on print preview. It'll help save you from making mistakes. Then go to more options. Make sure you turn bidirectional fast or high speed off. They're different. There's 3 different things, but they all mean the same thing. It's bidirectional printing. and turn on your mirror. Then go set up whatever color setting you want to do. I'm not going to get into that part of it. And then you click OK. And then you hit print. Once you do that, you're going to get this, which is a print preview. That print preview will do something for you. Number one, please remember that there are margins on all printers unless you are using borderless printing, and you cannot do that on most regular size format printers. So you got to be very mindful of these margins because they will not print ink. So make sure your image is no bigger than 8.45, okay? This isn't actually 8.45, but it's pretty darn close because the truth is it's 8.5 inches of paper and we actually lose about a 1/4 inch. So I got most of it on there. We're good. It is 9.55 because I know this is 11-inch paper and you can see there isn't a whole lot of space left over here, and I can see my image has that little tiny band of pink over here, okay? But what did it do? It cut off the little tiny band of pink on the other end. So, but I think I had it up against the edge. Okay, then I would hit print, and that's exactly what I'm gonna get out of my printer. Now let's talk about test printing. So that's all fine and dandy, but what if you need to test print? Because here you go. If I print this and then I wrap it around a tumbler and then I go cook it, and when I pull the paper off, it's the wrong color and it looks like heck, you want to make sure that you know how to fix that. So before you even waste that substrate, maybe go do this. All right, so I'm going to take you into Google Docs, which is free to everybody. We're going to click on this and go down to Google Docs and click on blank document. And I'm going to bring that image in. So we're going to hit insert. Oh, let me back up for a second. First, you do page setup because I wanted to explain why this is blue. So number one, you click on pages, you click on whole documents, and then you set it up to portrait or landscape. In this case, obviously, we're using landscape. We're on 8.5 by 11 paper. Now, I have my page color set to blue so you guys can see. I would not leave that on blue if I went to print this from Google Docs, because if I do, that blue is going to print. All right, so page color right here, click on white. Yours will automatically by default be on white. If you want to add a background and go ahead and do that, go ahead. Also, your margins need to be set to 0, because if they're not, your printer's automatically has that built-in margin that it's going to cut off, plus whatever margins you have going on here. So don't do that. Make sure they're set to 0 and then click OK. Now we're just going to very quickly, we're going to insert an image from computer. My PNG, I'm in the wrong thing, so hang on a minute. I have to go to my downloads folder. Let me pause this and get this image in here. Okay, so I went to my downloads folder. Here's my test logo, PNG. So I'm going to click on that and click open. It's going to bring it in. Now, before you do anything else, click on the image because right now it's the wrong size. We're going to click on image options. First thing you want to do is go to text wrapping and click on wrap text. Then go to size and rotation. Notice that it came in at 11 inches by 9.74. I'm going to leave the lock aspect ratio on, and I'm just going to change this to 9.55 and click enter. Okay. This took it up to 8.5 inches high. It says, don't touch the scaling. If you want to change the position of it, okay, sorry. If you want to change the position of it relative to top left of paragraph, okay, I could change this. Your Y, this is left to right, okay? So we could change it from the left to the right a little bit. See that? See it's moving over. But from the top to the bottom, I want about 0.12 or 0.13 on that. And the reason for that is I don't want any of my image off the paper like it is right now, okay? So I'm going to move it up just a little bit. And I'm going to zoom this out so you can see what's going on. My image is too far down. Actually, it doesn't even look right. So hang on a minute. Okay, now that I got that straightened out. So on this particular case, to make sure that I have a little bit of margin at the top and a little bit of margin at the bottom, as you can see, there's blue on both sides. I changed my position to 0.05. Okay, so now I have that little bit of space at the top and a little bit of space at the bottom. Now on this particular image, it's not going to kill me if part of this gets cut off when it gets printed, because it's all a solid color at the top and all a solid color at the bottom. The left to right doesn't really matter as long as you're not sitting on the edge of the paper. Wherever you position this is what's going to print. So make sure your position, okay, is okay. So our X factor is left to right. So we can change this right over there. So we're at like 0.7 right there. But we're still at 0.05 from top to bottom. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is you could recolor things on this particular image in Google Docs. I tend to not do that. I've already set it up the way I want. I could come down here. I could change the opacity, the brightness, the contrast. If I don't like what I did, I could reset it. Okay, so you can recolor, no recolor, or then you get these options. Okay, see what I mean? And a lot of people, that's what a lot of people are doing when they're just taking your image and just changing it to another color. Okay, turn it green. I mean, I'd have to turn the opacity down, you know, all that kind of stuff. All right, so we're going to undo all of that, obviously, or just hit reset. And it does not want to reset, so we're just going to keep undoing. Yeah, my computer's frozen. There we go. All right, so now we're ready to go to print. So, File, Print. This is similar to, and I would obviously go turn off this blue background. I'm leaving it on so you guys can see. It's similar to what I just showed you with the PDF. Click on that. Make sure you're on the right paper size. Leave your scaling alone. Go to Print Using System Dialog. Again, same exact thing. We're going to use 2800 and click on More Settings. Do the same exact thing I said the first time. The only thing I'm actually going to do this time is make sure my bidirectional off. It is. And my print preview's on. I'm not going to change any of this because I'm not actually going to print anything. And click OK. And then hit print. And you will get this, which is exactly what we got before. Now what I want you to notice is look at the top and the bottom of this image. On my original, I have blue. On this one, I don't. That's why that margin is very important, because by default, my print preview knows that my printer is going to give a margin at the top, bottom, left, and right side. So it automatically shows me exactly what's going to print. All right. I hope this helps. It's a little something. Get you started in Canva. Show you how to print a PDF and how to print from Google Docs, all using one image. That's it. Oh, and I talked a little bit about how to size out that image. All right. I hope this helps. Have a really great day, everybody.